Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. Today I am here for section 14 of my Advent section, or my Advent project. So I'm just going to peel off the paper and we're going to jump into section 14. So again, I apologize, I'm not quite over my cold, so my voice is still a little bit rough, but I'm going to tough it on through. So let me kind of get this situated a little bit better so that you guys can see. I think that's pretty good right there. Okay. I am going to have a cough drop while we do this, just to kind of hopefully mitigate all of those issues. So I hope everyone is having a great Tuesday. I am so super stoked to finally be done with work. Oh, and I forgot my timer. Oh well, I'll figure it out. Yesterday was our last day of preschool for the kids who come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We only have school this week, Monday and Tuesday, and then we are going to be on break until January 4th. So I am so super duper looking forward to having some break time. That being said, I am going to be spending some of that break time working on things for the preschool. I still have lesson plans that I need to do to finish out the year. And I haven't decided quite exactly when yet, but I need to go back in to the preschool and, take all the things down from this week, put everything away, kind of get everything straightened up and ready to go for when we come back in the new year. I need to do some work here at home first. I print off a lot of the things here at home. I have a printer and cardstock, and I print things out, and then I have my own laminator, so I will laminate things that we are going to use. So I need to look at what weeks are going to be coming up when we first come back to preschool and see what I need to get ready, if there's anything that I need to print out and laminate and get all that good stuff done before we go back. I could wait until the holidays were over, but for me, I would just rather go ahead and get it done, and then it's not kind of hanging in the back of my mind and I'm free to kind of enjoy everything else. If I don't do it first, then I kind of have this countdown in the back of my mind that, okay, in another 8 days I need to do this, and another 6 days. It just kind of takes some of the enjoyment out of it for me. I would rather just go in and get it done and then be free to enjoy my time off. So we'll see how that goes. I've got stuff I need to get done here at home as well, but most of our Christmas shopping is done, so we're good there. The tree is up. Everything is up, wrapped underneath the tree. Everything has arrived. So that's good that all of that is done. I believe everybody in my house is done with their Christmas shopping, so we do have some stuff still coming, though. I went out. I think I've asked before what you guys listen to when you're doing your diamond painting. If you're listening to me, thank you. I appreciate it. I know lots of people listen to like true crime stories and things. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts before I got back into reading so much. And I still, every once in a while, will turn some podcasts back on. I loved watching cold case files and forensic files. I love watching those kind of shows. And so I know like Stitcherista does a lot of that kind of stuff. I think there's another diamond painting channel I've seen that does kind of the same thing where they tell, kind of true crime stories. So I was strolling through Instagram the other day, and one of the ads that came up on my feed was for the Hunt a Killer subscription box. And I thought, well, what is this? So for those of you who haven't heard of it before, it is basically like a murder mystery game, but with true crime elements thrown in. So you're meant to subscribe to their box, and each season has 6 boxes, and I think it's $30 a box. So like $180 if you do the 6-month subscription. Each season has 6 boxes. So but you can purchase old seasons that have already come and gone for a reduced price, of course, which means that you get all 6 seasons or 6 episodes at once instead of having to wait for them to come out one at a time. And it just sounded really interesting. You're supposed to get, like, each episode, they call it, is a box. And in each box, you get clues to whatever the crime is. Of course, I'm assuming the first box kind of introduces you to the crime. And then you get to play detective. And it says it's rated PG-13 because they do include things like, autopsy photos. Now, none of this is real. This is all, invented stories. But you get to be the detective and kind of solve it. And I guess they have like an online community. There's a Facebook group, of course. They have like an online community where you can chat with other people who are doing the same season or episode as you or whatever. Sometimes I think it said that you log in and get clues online. I'm not quite sure how all that works, but it just looked really fun. And when everyone was over this weekend, I was talking to my sister about it because she likes a lot of that true crime stuff too. And I was talking to her about it. And after everybody left, I was trolling on Amazon to see if they just perchance had some. And they did. And they had one that was the whole season. So it's all 6 boxes all at once. And it was only, I say only, it was $156. So that may be very pricey for some people, and I get that. It might be easier for some people to just do the 1 episode at a time where you're paying the $30 a month. The lady that I read a couple of reviews before I bought it. In one of the reviews, the lady said that she and her boyfriend were using it as their date night, basically. And so they would get the box, and that would be their date night for the month. Because I think it said it's supposed to take you somewhere around between an hour, hour and a half each box to kind of figure out what you need to figure out and then wait for the next set of clues. And so she said, I would spend $30 if we just went to the movies. So for her, it was a really good deal. And she said her boyfriend loved it, that I think there's an option, it said, where you can choose to have the next episode, the next box sent to you early. If you're doing the subscription thing, that moves up your subscription. So I'm not quite sure how all the subscription stuff works. I don't intend to ever do a subscription. I'll just wait and buy, completed seasons as they're done. So I can just have everything all at once, because I'm not patient enough. I know me. There's no way I'd be able to wait. I'd be all over the internet scouring, trying to find all of the answers, and then it would be a waste of money because I'd have found everything out before I got the rest of the boxes. So I just went ahead and bought one that is the whole 6 boxes all at once. And now I'm really curious, and I can't wait until it gets here because I can't wait to open it and see what it's going to be like. I think it's just going to be me and my husband doing it first, just to kind of see what it's like and if we think it's worth the money. And then if we do, we might buy a second season to do with like my sister or something. But we'll see. I'm not quite sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but it's supposed to be here tomorrow, so I can't wait until it gets here. So that was new and exciting. We are also in the process of trying to figure out an electric heater for our house. Last year, when we had that big cold snap in, like I keep saying last year, I guess it was this year. It was like February of this year, 2021. And we had that huge cold snap, and all those people down in Texas, were freezing because nobody had gas and the systems all shut down and blah, blah, blah. Well, the upshot of that whole thing was that we ended up with a huge bill too. Our bill ended up being, I think, $1,000 or $1,100, somewhere around there, just for 1 month, when it's normally like $150. So, and we've already noticed that our gas bill is going up. Now, in our local paper, there was a interview with the city manager several months ago, and he said at the time that, the city is trying to do what it can to mitigate what happened last year, but there's only so much they can do. I live in a small town, and we, unless you want to be kind of off-grid, we have one electric provider, and we have one gas/water/sewer provider. The gas, water, and sewer all are the city. So we get a bill each month from the city for those things. Our electric is a separate company. However, the electric rates are regulated by the government. Natural gas rates are not. So basically, the natural gas companies can charge whatever they want. And they have already started raising prices in anticipation of we may have another cold snap like we had last year. So my husband and I were looking at, alternative things that we could do so that we could keep our thermostat set kind of low and still keep ourselves warm. So we already have an electric blanket for our bed. And I have another electric blanket that I use. Usually when I'm laying on the couch, I'm always cold. So several years ago, my husband bought me this electric blanket to use on the couch. So it's not really big enough to fit on a bed, even a full-size bed. But it is big enough for one person. So we have a queen-size one for our bed. And I said, we have this other one that we can give to one of the kids. And then we'll just buy a third electric blanket. That way, if we need to turn our thermostat down quite a bit, nobody will freeze at night because we will have our electric blankets to keep us warm. Because last year, while we did have some rolling brownouts, our electric grid handled the issue, the extremely cold snap, much better than, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Our natural gas grid system handled it just fine. It just cost an arm and a leg. And we don't want to do that this year. So we have decided, in addition to the electric blankets, we are going to buy an electric heater for our house. Now, I have a basement in my house. Everyone around here has a basement because we have tornadoes a lot. So pretty much most people around here have a basement. So we have a basement, which means it stays a pretty consistent temperature down there. And that is where both of my children's bedrooms are. So between, kind of being underground where it stays more consistent, and also having the electric blankets, they shouldn't have too much trouble staying, warm and comfortable, even if we had to turn the thermostat down quite a bit. So what we've been looking at is for upstairs, because our master bedroom is upstairs. And it can get kind of cold in the winter. And so what we're looking at is an electric heater that we basically can put. It'll be in our living room, but the wall where it'll be placed will be like right next to the door to our bedroom. And it's supposed to be able to warm a big enough square footage area that it should keep our living room, kitchen, and our bedroom warm. So we're looking at picking up one of those. We've already, like I said, noticed that our gas bill is going up. Just this last month, the per unit price that we've been paying for gas has almost doubled, which doesn't sound like a lot when you look at the actual numbers. I mean, it was around $1 something per unit, and now it's almost $3 a unit. So, when you just look at the dollars, it doesn't sound like that much. But, to think that the price has already doubled and we're not even really into any cold weather yet is kind of frightening. Because at the height of the cold snap last year, or earlier this year, I guess, they were charging something like $600 a unit. And so, we were all kind of caught unawares last year. Even the city, while they knew more than the rest of us about what was going on, it's not really like they could do anything about it either. My city has done what it could. It has kind of banded together with a couple of other cities that are close to us, small cities, so that they can basically form like a co-op and buy all of their natural gas as one unit rather than each city buying it individually, because they're buying more and they're buying in bulk. It gives them a better deal, so they can purchase some of the gas, hopefully before the prices become astronomical. There's still no guarantee, but that's really all they can do, because they just, as a small city, do not have enough customers for these natural gas companies to really want to work with them as far as pricing goes, because why would they want to work with anyone when they can just gouge everybody? And the funny thing is, we're supposed to have legislation in place to keep people from doing exactly what they did, from gouging people like that for necessities. And after all that public outcry earlier this year when it happened, in Texas and pretty much all over the place, they still haven't done anything. No new legislation was introduced, so it's going to happen again. And I told my husband, I expect that it's just going to get worse from here on out, because I expect our weather to be kind of more unpredictable from here on out, which means, it's going to be harder and harder to kind of plan for those kind of things. So that's one of the reasons I told my husband I want to be as self-sufficient as possible when we move up to Canada. I want to have well water, so we have our own water. I want to have a rain catchment system, because even if you have a well, we've seen in all the flooding that has been going on in Canada and places, so much land has been washed away that people have lost their wells. So even if they had a well, they no longer have water because the well itself has been washed away. So we need an alternative system for that. I would like to have solar and wind to generate electricity. And, have a battery system so that we could store whatever electricity we're generating. We will have to be on the land that we're planning to use up there. There is no city sewer or city water, so we would have to have a well and a septic system of some sort regardless. But I would like to have some of these other things so that we can be as self-sufficient as possible, so that, in the event anything kind of unforeseen happens, that we're prepared. Okay, I'm going to leave this row kind of there until I get to 19. And finish these reds, and then I will do yellows. And then that will just leave me with the M's. So this is actually a pretty quick workup section today, I think. I don't have my timer in here, so I can't see how long it's taken me, but it feels like it's worked up pretty quick. So I'm looking forward to getting my Hunt a Killer kit and seeing how that works. I also ordered some supplies for next year. I am still working on my schedule for next year for the channel, and I have some ideas for some things that I want to do as far as events and such. And so I'm trying to kind of get ahead of the curve there. I still need to go mail out some more random acts of kindness. I have them all prepared and ready to go. I just haven't made it to the post office yet. So I'm expecting another package from some stuff that I ordered. So when I get a notification that it has come in, I will just make one trip to the post office and pick up my package, and then also mail out the random acts of kindness that I have ready to go. So hopefully I'll continue feeling better, and I'll be better about staying on track. This last couple of days I've done a lot of sleeping and not a whole lot else. So now that I'm done with work, it's amazing how much that kind of is like, a weight off my shoulders just to kind of be done. Although it does seem weird to think that we're not going to be back in school until 2022 now. Because we were telling the kids that yesterday, that when they came back, it would be a new month and a new year. So this year has flown by in some ways and gone so slowly, it seems like, in others. So here's hoping that 2022 is better than 2021 and 2020. So, okay, so that was the last of the yellow. Okay, so I think all I have left now are the M's. I don't see any that I missed. So I'll start filling them in, and then I'll probably find some and be like, oh yeah, should have filled that one in, should have filled that one in. told you guys I'm probably going to do some more testing with my glue dots and things. Somebody made a comment that she's done like 50 some paintings and only used like 1.5 squares of the pink wax. Now, all I can imagine is that she must be an extremely light placer. I can't even get a dip out of the wax to last me, 5 or 6 hours, much less, 5 or 6 paintings. That seems crazy to me. And like I said, I've tried to, become a lighter placer, but, and, using the pretty placer can force me to be more light-handed than I usually am, but I get frustrated because, I just tend to be heavy-handed and I will place something and then I've ruined the tip of the pretty placer and then I have to go sharpen it so that I can use it again. And after the 4th or 5th time that I have to sharpen it because I've ruined the tip of it again because I've pressed too hard, I just get frustrated and I'm like, forget it, I'm going back to this. So, if you're one of those people who can place lightly and use a pretty placer for everything, then kudos to you. I just am not one of those people. And I think it's really hard to kind of retrain yourself of a habit that, you have since you started learning to write. So wonder why that is, why some people grip more tightly than others. Wonder if it has anything to do with which hand you use as well. My dad, when he was in school, when he started school, he was ambidextrous. He wrote with either hand. And when he was in 1st grade, his 1st grade teacher told him that being ambidextrous was a sign of the devil and he should only work with his right hand. And so they did things like tie the child's left hand behind his back so that he could only write with his right hand. Can you imagine trying to do something like that in school today? Telling a parent, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to tie your kid's hand behind his back just because he's writing with the wrong hand. Funny all the things that we used to think were fine and educational, isn't it? So, okay, I've moved this several times. Hopefully, it is still where you guys can see it. I'm almost done here. Again, if you're hanging in there with me through my voice problems, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I just didn't want to miss a day of doing this if I didn't have to. Both because I wanted to continue working on the painting, but also I didn't want to miss a day. So because I'm having fun doing this as well. I can't wait to see how this painting turns out. When I saw this painting, I was like, oh, I really liked it. So I've got some more cute things to show you guys after the 1st of the year, but I wanted to get some of these paintings that I've kind of had hanging around for a while. I wanted to get them done. I was watching another YouTuber trying to pick out what painting they're going to do next, and they were basically, I think they called it shopping from their stash, which I thought was funny because that's kind of what I do too. I have so many diamond paintings that I don't even remember some of them sometimes. So it's like when I get finished with one, well, what do I want to work on now? Either I go to my spreadsheet and I kind of look at the names, or I will just start going through boxes and be like, which one of these do I want to do next? Because sometimes I might really want to work on one, but I'm like, oh, it's too big. I don't want to get started on something that big right now. Or, I'm really in the mood to work on a square or a round painting, so I'm looking for a particular kind of diamond or whatever. So I'm really kind of wishing, though, I had gotten some sort of winter/snow canvas to work on, or holiday canvas. I keep seeing everybody's pictures on Instagram, and they look so cool. So many cool paintings. I can still do something winter themed, I guess. Winter isn't going to be over by the time the holidays are. Winter will still be around for a little bit, but I just feel like with, a lot of crafts in general, you end up having to kind of work ahead. So I personally wouldn't want to wait until Christmas, till December, to start working on a diamond painting. That's going to be a Christmas present. Just because I'm slow and I don't think I would get it done in time, and I'd want to leave myself plenty of time for that. But okay, so I don't think I missed anything in that section there. I know I have a little bit showing there, but I'm going to leave it till I get to that section. So there is that section complete. Let me zoom out so you guys can kind of see it. So we've got pretty much most of this whole side done. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Okay, I think you can see all of that. And let me move the camera just a smidge. There we go, I think. Okay, so finish kind of that flower right there. And it feels like I need to go over this with my roller. So that was section 14. For section 15, we'll be moving down here to the bottom. So that'll be the section that I move to tomorrow. And before we go, I wanted to show you, yesterday, a lot of the kids give us, little Christmas goodies to send us on our way. A lot of the moms, as a thank you for being the kids' preschool teachers. And one of my fellow teachers got us these wine glasses, and it says, "Because preschoolers," which I thought was hilarious. So I'm not a big wine drinker, but I'll use the glass, and I thought it was funny. So hope that gave you guys a chuckle, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.